At this point, sadly, I just assume that Zohran Mamdani is going to become the next mayor of New York City. That is a tragedy, but it is what it is. I'm basically throwing in towel for this. But I wanted to address one moment from that last debate, that mayoral debate between Sliwa, Mamdani, and Cuomo. And it was this one, in which Cuomo was basically calling him, telling him to his face that he has no experience at anything, really. Has zero professional experience at all. And how come he's going to be mayor of the biggest city in the United States is anyone's guess. And the most freaky thing is Mamdani's face as Cuomo was saying those words. And I had to say this on X. I was making this video, and before I began recording this video, I had to make that tweet. I had to write that tweet. This is basically the face that you see, the last thing you see before you're slowly beheaded, your head used for a football game, and your body dragged for the townsfolk to spit on you. So, yeah, that is basically what. Maybe that is the scientific term and the scientific body language term for this face. I don't know, but that's pretty much what Mamdani is going to do for New York. So it is what it is. But let's watch the clip anyway. It was Latina USA. I was making a video. I made a video for my body language guy channel in which I spoke about Cuomo's AI ad, very good ad against Mamdani. And this comment from Latina USA was below that ad, as in Cuomo should have used this instead of making an AI ad. At least it was not as expensive, I guess. Cuomo should have done or used this. Let's watch this.
I understand my friend doesn't really understand government. The governor doesn't build housing in New York City.
Not if it's you.
No, legally, there are jurisdictions. The governor doesn't pick up trash. He doesn't run the fire department. That's what the mayor does. The mayor builds housing. The state allocates funding for localities. And I allocated more funding for housing than any governor in the history of the state of New York. All right? I did things. You have never had a job. You've never accomplished anything. There's no reason to believe you have any merit or qualification for 8.5 million lives. You don't know how to run a government. You don't know how to handle an emergency. And you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're not talking about in your campaign. You had the worst attendance record in the assembly, and you gave yourselves the highest raise in the United States of America. You went from $110,000 to $140,000, and then you never showed up for work, and you missed 80% of the votes. Shame on you.
So yeah, there was a brutal takedown, but again, I have to say something about Mamdani that is. I'm gonna put what is it? Okay, right there. The beheading face. The last thing that you see. That is the face that he put. He had absolutely no other option. This is what he had to do. Okay, I have to just smile, not look at Cuomo, not acknowledge his words, pretend that he's not speaking. It's like we saw from Ellen Spanberger when she was ignoring the questions about Jay Jones, and she was like, okay, this is not happening. But at least Mamdani was smiling, and that is his charisma smile that I'm going to say it. I know that so many of you disagree with me. How can you say that he has charisma, Jesus? He looks so shady. I understand that is the point. If you have had any sort of experience with toxic personalities, with manipulative people, you will spot this face instantly. You will know, okay, I know that this guy is full of manure. It's full of horseradish. That is a fact. That is simply what you're going to feel, and you will be right. For so many other people who have absolutely nothing to lose because they will not be affected by, the raising taxes because they basically don't work and don't pay taxes, then that is the problem. That is the problem with the people who are behind this guy. Again, I have zero hopes that New York City will do the right thing. This has been happening over and over again. I have seen this happening so many times. All my life, I saw that with Hugo Chavez back in 1998. I simply did not pay attention to it. I told to myself, "Oh, how bad can it be? I am not going to care about that. I'm not going to vote. I didn't vote back then. It was a big mistake that I regret to this day." But New Yorkers can do the right thing. First thing, if you're from New York, maybe you have so many body language bodies. And this is not the body language guy. This is the Power Pundit. I'm going to post this on my Power Pundit, which is my channel. This is my channel that you're watching right now. Is my channel about politics, mainly American politics. So make sure that you like and subscribe. But I'm going to tell you, I have watched the same happening, and no matter how many arguments, solid arguments, like Cuomo, what Cuomo said, and I have to say, when I see Curtis Sliwa speaking, the guy has this way of speaking that is just awesome. I think that I could say, of course, Mamdani has the gift of gab. The guy has a silver tongue. He knows how to speak, and he knows public speaking. He knows how to. That is undeniable. You could say all that you want, but precisely that's why he's here. That's why he's got such a huge chance of becoming the next mayor of New York City. That is a fact. But the problem is that is the first ingredient of how populism wins the masses. And you win the masses that way. And well, I could say that is also a tool that was used by Donald Trump 3 times over 3 campaigns. So again, the problem is that one thing is what Donald Trump promised, the 20, for example, in his 2024 campaign, you had his 20 policies, but we know the policies that Mamdani wants to, let's say, use to destroy New York City, and, well, that is not looking good. That is not looking good. So this is what you're going to get, New York City, if you don't do anything about it. The first thing is, remember that in October, in 2 days, in just 2 days, early voting starts. So make sure you go and exercise your right to vote. I have no other thing that I could recommend to you except for brace yourselves and try to make sure that this doesn't happen. But again, I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Power Pundit. Remember, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Much love and bliss.